Welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Kay Cote, and I'm your podcast host here on today's episode. Today we have Grant Headifen, Global Director of Education for NauticEd, as my guest. We're going to be learning about his business, his journey to business ownership, and what it's really like to own and operate a business. If this is your first time on our channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications of episodes like this. Welcome, Grant. It's great to meet you.
Well, thanks a lot, Kay. I really appreciate being on the show today.
Yes, well, so excited to share your journey with your business. So let's kick it off with tell me a little bit about yourself.
Living here in Austin, Texas, what a great place to live. From New Zealand originally, grew up on a sheep farm, if you want to know a random fact about myself. Um, Came to University of Texas quite a few years ago, did a master's in engineering, and started several businesses along the way. And if you've read any book about starting a business, this is not gonna be your last one. So started several along the way, and the good thing about that is you learn a lot of stuff along the way, right? So uh, finally, the business that we run now is absolutely a winner. It's going really good, and so hopefully this is the last one. But anyway, there you go. Good stuff, good random stuff at the start.
Well, definitely. I'm also a fellow entrepreneur at heart, so it is incredible to hear, now you found this business. So share a little bit about Nordic Ed.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a real niche market. Okay, so nautical education, that's what it stands for. There is no ed here at our business. It's what we do is we teach people how to be competent on a sailboat or on a powerboat. So if anybody is out there thinking, kind of like to get into sailing, but oh wow, where do I start? And so that's really where you start with us, to teach you how to get on in the water, how to be safe, but also how to go beyond that. So let's say you're dreaming of, oh man, I'd love to go to the Caribbean and just get on a boat and just wander around there. That'd be great. We can teach you how to do that. We can start you off with a professional captain down there, and then you learn all of the skills over time. You can't just do it overnight, and really set you going in terms of your boating dreams. So that's really our focus. It's such a niche market. I mean, that's all we're looking for is people that say, "Hey, I'd love to get on a boat and be safe with my friends and family and just enjoy my time, but know what I'm doing and not be embarrassed when I come into the dock and ding the boat in the dock or hit somebody else or stop the boat too fast and the wave comes over the stern or it's just stuff like that that." There's massive amounts of experience out there that we've been able to put people together to bring knowledge and skills and experience to people that want to get started in boating. So that's what we do.
That is incredible. I think that's like highly important. And I like that it's very niche and it's serving a huge purpose to help people be safer on the water for sure. So I'd like to hear how you got started. What inspired you? What's your why for this business specifically?
Passion, right? And everybody says, do your passion, like do a business that's in your passion. And that's really hard to do actually, because sometimes you just can't make any money at your passion business or your passion self, right? What do you really love to do? So in that sense, I just got lucky, I think. One time I'm sitting on a sailboat in Greece, just going, this is awesome. This is absolutely amazing. How can I make money doing this? And so I started a sharing company where we share boats. And we ran some software. I'm an engineer, so we created some software around how to share boats. Um, Ran that business for quite a while, and that was successful. Sold that, and then, but when I sold it, I realized, look, there's not many people actually know how to use a boat, right? Especially when we were sharing boats, we owned the boat. We didn't want people crashing those boats into the dock or crashing into each other or hitting the bottom, not knowing how to navigate. And what I really did was just look at the current state of education for boating, and it was absolutely abysmal. Here, read this book and take this paper test. And, that was 2008. I mean, oh my goodness. Like, why, what are we doing paper books in 2008 even? Now we're 2025 this year. Everybody's doing e-learning, and the competition that we have is still mailing a book and saying, read this book and take this paper test. And, it's still shocking. So we've been able to really come out of the gates and use e-learning for theory knowledge. And obviously, if you want to be on a boat and you want to be competent, you've got to have practical skills as well. So we've developed a network of instructors all over the world. But what brought everything together was one, just to come back to your question, was one, the passion, and also wanting just to do it properly, right?
Hmm.
Look at what everybody else is doing and saying, well, they're missing the mark here, and they're missing the mark there. So where can we put this together? Whatever business you're looking at, how can I put it together and hit the mark properly using today's technology? Um, and as we've gone, we've developed and introduced new technology as well. So yeah, to answer your question, how do we get into this? Passion, but a super desire to do it right.
Taking a note on that. Thank you for sharing that. And now kind of looking at what you've built so far, what does your team look like around this? Do you have a full-time staff, or how is the company moving so far?
The one fun thing about a passion business is there's people out there that have the same passion as you. And so over the years, I have found I've developed a team of people that are equally as passionate. Um, and oh my goodness, I mean, I have to tell people on the weekend, stop working, right? Go mow the lawn, get outside, go for a bike ride, do something. I mean, these people are going nuts and just trying to build, our mission, and that's super cool. So we do have a team. It's super fun to work with everybody. The ideas are just flying all the time, and I have to calm people down. Okay, our programmer, I can't keep up with all our ideas here, so let's focus in on what's the most important and what can we take to the consumer the best and fastest, and what do they want, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, passion has built our team. It's super cool.
Oh, that's incredible. Now, how many team members are you at right now?
I sent out a Christmas email. There was 16 people on that team. So about half of them are full-time, half of them are part-time. Um, but I just look at every person. I look at that email and I was like, wow, this is. I didn't think, because some people are part-time, I didn't sort of count them until I really started counting. Wow, this is super cool. Look at all these people, just working. I mean, of course, they're all getting paid for it, but it's just wonderful to engage with these people at that level.
Definitely. Yeah, the power of a team is incredible, especially when you find those people who are passionate about the same passions you have. And
Yeah.
yeah, which kind of brings me right into kind of, where do you see the company going? What do you want to do in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same. What I said before is like we want to make it accessible and just the most awesome product for everybody, right? Where is everybody else? Where's the competition missing a mark? And where can we hit it for everybody using the technology tools that are available today, and just making it easy and for people, and it's just sort of a natural fit for somebody to come in and get into, quote, boating for our business. So I'd love to say world domination, right? But really, what we want to do is have everybody say, look, I'm getting a boat. I want to be safe on the water. Where do I go? In the old days, it was like you ask your brother-in-law, like, I just bought a sailboat. How should I learn? And the brother-in-law, he says, well, 10 years ago, I did this certification. Well, we want that speak to change. We want, the same brother-in-law can say, well, 10 years ago, I did this certification, but I've seen this fantastic new company. And I've just seen them all over the internet. You really should check them out. They look really, really good. And so we want um, the market speak out there of people saying, wow, that looks super cool. right? And whether it's for them or not, but they are going to be talking about it to their friends. If anybody says, I just bought a boat, or um, so 3 to 5 years, yeah, just like everybody talking about us, everybody that's in boating, right? I mean, a lot of
Mm.
people are not interested in boating. So really just sort of taking our niche market of customers and having the speak going there with a wow, we really do want that wow going.
100%. And now I kind of want to take it back and cover something that maybe you've been through, especially with creating a business, because it is always comes with its own unique set of challenges. So, what is the challenge you faced in creating this business or on this business journey that you overcame?
Um, so yeah, business journey is the right word to use, right? Because you're going to go through lots of businesses unless you hit it really lucky at the start. And there's so much to learn. And, I mean, one of the things that I would always start with is if you're going to start a business, be very careful if you're going to start a business with a business partner.
Mhm.
The divorce rate is more than 50%. So just naturally, the business divorce rate is going to be more than 50% as well. And it was a business coach that told me that one time. Um, so you don't need a partner. A lot of people get a partner because they're like, oh man, this would be great. We could work together and this would be great. Well, okay, sure. Go hire somebody to be your business, not partner, but be your business worker with you. You'll get the same ideas from them. Um, the reason a lot of people don't hire a business or have a business partner, sorry, I'll say that again. The reason that people get a business partner is at the start, they perhaps can't afford to hire somebody. But
Mhm.
here's the thing, if you're going to build $1 million business and you've got a 50% partner, well, you just gave them $500,000.
Mhm.
Right. So is that a good idea right now, giving somebody 500 grand? Yeah, probably no, because you so figure it out so that you can not have a business partner.
Mhm.
Get some very good coaching, right? You can hire coaches, you can hire businesses to coach you, you can hire a friend to coach you. um, so that's my number one thing, right? Just be very careful. And so with the business that I have now, I own the whole shoot match. Uh, I'm in a position now to hand out a few percent here and there to key employees, but they are not going to control the business. And
Mhm.
at the point of the business we're at now, it's worth it to give them, because they've really worked on the weekends I talked about before, and they work their ass off. It's worth it to give them certain percentages that are worth, say, several hundred thousand, because that business is now, way in excess of that. But if I'd started off with a business partner, and let's say our business is worth $10 million right now, I gave them $5 million. What, and if the divorce rate, and then you've got all this complication of trying to exit a partner when you're starting to get into this divorce situation because your idea of growing the business is different from their idea. So that's actually my just biggest advice when starting out a business. I can't remember if that was actually your question, but that's kind of my rant. I'd love to write a book just on that one thing there.
So you're the sole owner of it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that challenge. That does sound like something that is, again, this is like a golden nugget of people who go into a business partnership who have to take on these kind of challenges. So thank you for sharing that experience. Now I'd like to go into a fun part of the Q&A where we talk about your business in very rapid fire questions. So I'm going to be asking you 4 questions where you answer very top of mind. So are you ready for some rapid fire?
Let's do it.
All right. Question number 1 is, what is the key to success for you?
So I'm going to lean back on passion, right? And I'm going to lean also on um, something that really resonates with the market. What does your customer really want? Obviously they want a good quality product, right? Or a good quality service. And what we've coined our word is competence. That's our word. That's actually a culture of the company. So somebody wants to get on a boat, they want to be competent, right? They don't want a certification. And we could hand out certifications if we want to, but we hand out competence, right? So, and then we drive that word through the culture of the whole company. So, set up your culture of your company and drive that very hard.
It's great advice. And what is a piece of advice you have for other business owners?
Um, Yeah, culture again, right? So what is going to be the culture of your company? What's going to be the culture of yourself? What's going to be the culture of your product? And how are you going to drive that culture, right
Mm,
down through everybody? I mean, we have a culture of competence, well, but what if we brought on an instructor that didn't have that culture of competence? What do we do with that person? How do we indoctrinate that person? Fortunately, we it's easy for us, right? Competence on the water is just is easy, but you have got to maintain that culture throughout all your employees, all of your people, all your product, everything that you do has got to maintain whatever culture you set up, right? And make sure that it's being resonated throughout your company.
definitely. And number three is what is a piece of content? Could be a book, podcast, something that you've taken in most recently.
Um, yeah, okay. So for me, it was a podcast, and they were talking about marketing, and they used one word, and it was so good. It's just a great word, and their word was omnipresence. So everybody says, how do I market my company? What should I be doing? Should I be doing Google ads? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? And so the podcast I listened to talking about omnipresence actually was quite eye-opening or mind-opening, because it's like, oh, you know what? We need to be everywhere. How do we do that? And started thinking about partnership programs and, yeah, using Google Ads, but managing that so that it's profitable, and dialing into the nitty-gritty of the data. Um, so yeah, for us, because we're a global company, omnipresence was needed. If somebody's like a little Austin company or a Central Texas company, how are they going to gain omnipresence in that area and that geographic area?
That is great. That is so interesting because I always pick a word of the year on New Year's, and one year it was omnipresent. So I've never heard someone else say it like that, but yes, it's so true. We have to be everywhere today's day and age.
Yeah, and it's difficult and it's expensive. So
Mhm.
you've got to really dial into what is the best way to achieve that for your product. Right?
Definitely. Well, our final question in the rapid fire is if you could wave a magic wand and rapidly improve one aspect of your business, what would it be?
Yeah. I mean, like Google Ads works really well for us, um, but I'd love to make it more profitable. Um, it's they are expensive. They are managing Google Ads is really difficult, right? It's got to be profitable. Fortunately, we do have the data to be able to do that. So if we can improve it, again, I think it would be just making that more profitable.
Definitely. Well, thank you for sharing the rapid fire questions. Before we get to our final question of the day, how can people get plugged in with your business?
Well, if you're interested in boating, right? If you're not, well, listen to this podcast and take whatever advice I gave you. But if you're interested in boating, I mean, obviously, and it's obviously, right, you don't want to be a bad boater, right? You want to be a good boater. You want to make sure your friends and family are safe on the water. And there are lots of tips and tricks, right? You cannot sit back and say, well, I'm good enough, right? Or good enough doesn't cut it. So when the accident actually happens, and it might not be your accident, right? Somebody else hits you, but you could have avoided it. So you want to be an excellent boater. We know that. And what we've done is just made it really accessible for people. I mean, just jump online and take a free course, right? I mean, that's it. We've got a really awesome free course on who gives way on the water. How do you do that? And so that's there. People can just start out at a free course and sign up. And then if that's all you want to do, that's great. Certainly, we'll encourage you with lots of tips and tricks from dozens of authors that we have on how to be a better boater. They can just jump in, you're paid for course, but they're very accessible. I mean, $40 for a course, right? So, and you can just grow your courses, and as you like them, you just grow more. And then, we just encourage you, just keep being competent on the water. We know that's what you want.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much,
The
Grant.
website, I didn't give you the website, sorry.
Oh, yes, that's your
Yeah,
website.
go ahead. You actually asked the question. So it's nautical, right? So that's water, and then education. So that's easy. So if you just remember nautical education, but then split those words in half. So nautic and then ed. So NauticEd and then .org. So nauticed.org is our website. That's how you remember it. Pretty easy. You'll find us. If you do a search on the web, you'll find us. SEO has been very, very kind to us.
Wonderful. Thank you, Grant. For our final question for today, what is most inspiring to you today?
I'm sorry, say that question again. What's most
Inspiring to you?
about life, about
Any,
business?
anything at all?
Okay, what's most inspiring is I love it when people say, that was awesome. Thank you for helping me. We get people sending us photographs from the Mediterranean. We get people's photographs from the Caribbean. My family and friends had an amazing time. Thank you for everything you've done. We just had a fantastic time. And so, that's super inspiring, right? When we get emails like that and photographs like that, man, it just makes me want to work harder.
Hmm. Well, that's incredible. Well, again, thank you so much for being on the show today. It's been great to have this conversation.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Thanks, Kay. Appreciate it.